Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilia, and today we're going to be talking about Rwby Volume 7 Episode 6. Now overall I really enjoyed this episode, but I do want to say, hasn't Penny suffered enough already at the hands of Salem's crew, especially Watts and his schemes and plans? It seems like whenever Penny's involved, it's always kind of heartbreaking for her character. Or, well, first case it was very much breaking, but this time, it made her really upset because she was proud to be the protector. She was proud to have the people of Mantle cheer for her and on her side, and to see this jolly character just kind of get all upset by the end, yeah, it wasn't nice to see. But we start off with the public speech, and it seems that the writings have been contained, and basically Robin is pleading with the public to basically say, look, use your vote to basically spread your opinions and your views instead of using violence. And honestly, I liked her doing this. It shows more of her personality and gives us more of a kind of insight into how Robin kind of moves as a character as such. She probably knows that the public would ultimately suffer if the riots and actions continued. And it's in her best interest to kind of keep the people of Mantle on her side, safe, and basically give her something to work towards once she is elected onto the seat. And, it also shows the fact that from a character perspective, she's a character that's would happily question and confront Clover, Crow, and Rwby, and do the actions that are necessary to kind of get the job done. From the dialogue that we see in this episode, it's very clear that she would do anything, even if it's against the law, if it means getting the results that she desires. However, she will not allow innocent people to get involved. This is why she obviously said, look, don't use violence, use your votes. And yet, last week she contradicted herself by her using violence. Not really, but nearly, if that makes sense. Now, for the most part, the public seem to basically give her the votes. It seems like she's going to win. And considering what Weiss's father did at the end of last week's episode, it was kind of surprising. However, the outcome of the election was predictable. We knew that somehow Weiss's father would ultimately win this election because it makes sense from a story point of view. And the way they executed the plan and showed the result, I thought was amazing. It was brilliant, as it helps to discredit Ironwood and Atlas and destroys any form of quick teamwork / relationship between Atlas and Robin's crew. And they do this by basically framing Penny as a killer. So, how'd they do this? Well, they used the character of Tyrion to basically go undercover, and then Watts does his electronic gizmo gadget things, knocks down communications, knocks down the lights and everything, so Tyrion can go full on mad crazy mode. And seeing Tyrion in action, I really did like. I thought it was pretty cool, and there's one small gripe I have about this though. His tail looks like it glows most of the time when we see it. Remember, it's mechanical. What's created it? Now, surely people should see that if it's really dark, but maybe they kind of used a dampener on his tail or something so he couldn't use it. Maybe that's like the weird phone thing that Watts was using. I'm not 100% certain what that was, but maybe that's the case. And another thing about Tyrion is his semblance. Now, there's many speculation and many talks about Tyrion's semblance, but it seems like it has something to do with bypassing aura. And this allows him to get a direct hit onto this character, which, speaking of, we do see a small amount of personality from this character. And what we saw, I really did like. She's kind of goofy, but loyal and jolly, and I actually really did like the voice acting for this character. I thought it was really good. And the design as well, I quite like it. Out of the huntresses that are surrounding Robin, I actually prefer this one than the others. And she looks like a Farness herself, judging by her ears. Maybe she's like a goat or an Aries. But I like it. I think it's cool. But back to Tyrion. Now, he indeed may have a ability that allows him to pass aura protection. Now, the one thing that I find very interesting about this is what if he's against a team that consists of Jean and others. Jean is basically a sitting duck, if this is the case, as Jean would be the main healer in terms of recovering other characters' aura. So if I was in this fight and I were, basically Tyrion, and Jean was present, I would definitely immediately go after Jean first, poison him by breaking through his aura with my ability, and basically ending any chances of them recovering themselves later on. I think this is a pretty cool ability if it is able to bypass aura, or if it's something different and they're just not showing us just yet. Who knows? Now, we do get a training segment, and this was kind of interesting. As we see, both Jean and Weiss are improving. Jean with his recovery of aura, Weiss by besting Winter once. But the main focus here is Rwby. It seems she's able to now split her semblance and her spin into multiple sort of like beings as such. So as you can see in this image here, she's in like 3 pieces. I think it does go to 4, but I didn't quite catch that frame. And, she then merges back into 1. This seems pretty cool. And maybe it could be a good decoy tactic in the future. So I can't imagine that Rwby like multiplies herself and becomes like 4 versions of herself, like really tiny and small. I don't see that being the case. That just seems like really weird and gimmicky. So maybe if she's like in a situation where the enemy won't let her pass, or she wants to do 3 hits at once to take down a Grim. That seems pretty logical. Seems pretty cool as well. Now, it's in this scene that we mentioned Ironwood and Robin teaming up, which after this episode, it has to happen, but I don't really see it forming anytime soon. Maybe this is why we see Crow and Robin in the opening, battling against Tyrion. Because basically, Penny can't really be trusted by the people of Mantle at the moment. So maybe they send Crow in sort of undercover to battle Tyrion. And we all know that Crow has battled Tyrion before, so he has kind of an advantage that way. And he has lived a battle against him, which not many people have. So, good luck, Crow. So, the team has a night off, and this is obviously where we get the episode intro, the night off, and we go to the victory party, where basically everyone is. So we have, at this party, only Rwby, Nora, and Ren. And basically, this is where things get a bit weird, because for me, I'm more interested in the story. I'm interested in the plot and the characters, and they start off with kind of, I don't know, they show a lot of tension between Ren and Nora. Like, there's a lot of tension between them. Something's obviously happened. You're left wondering, what has happened? What has caused these two sort of characters that have been connected for so long to kind of drift apart a little bit? And honestly, it's probably just relationship troubles, which by the end of this, they obviously confirm that they are actually a thing. They take a few digs out of Bumblebee shipping by the arguments at the beginning. But honestly, this just leads to Nora finally letting loose and kissing Ren. Which, yes, okay, it's nice, but for someone like me, I don't actually get into the whole shipping type of thing with anime. Unfortunately, it's just not my thing. If you like it, that's great. Keep it to yourself, I guess, or, be respectful of other people. But, that just doesn't really do anything for me, so to speak. So all in all, this was actually a really thrilling episode, and we get some new information that we can obviously speculate off of. For example, Tyrion's semblance. What could happen with Jean and his new power, Weiss and Winter. How are Ren and Nora going to go forward? Rwby. Because Rwby in this episode, she seems very, very down. She's been getting more and more tired as the episodes progress. And honestly, I can see a situation in where Rwby is so tired and drained that she actually slips up and makes a mistake. Now, this would obviously be a big dramatic mistake, like maybe she blurts out something, or maybe she just completely loses it. Something hopefully I want to kind of elaborate on later on, because it seems like they're hinting at something, but I just can't figure out what yet. Now then, as even more rage happens in Mantle, we have Grimm flying out everywhere. The city is under attack, and I think Penny flies off. I don't know if she goes to help. I would imagine she would, but Penny is out of action, presumably, and everyone needs to gather up because Team Funky and Yang and Blake are dancing, so they might not know what's going on. Then Weiss and the boys are watching a movie, so basically Jean goes on a date with Weiss, with others. And, yeah, seeing the Grimm, the Manticore type of Grimm, I think, flying down, really cool. I like their designs, and we know they're strong from episode 1 of volume 6. Apologies. So, this episode has some great voice acting, and the more I hear of Robin's character, in terms of the voice acting work, I really find myself loving it more and more. Great music. There's some good music when Ren and Nora had their scene. They had some good character interactions. I've said about Rwby looking drained and kind of hopefully slipping up in the past or making a mistake in the future and making a mistake. And honestly, I'm just excited to see how things progress later on. If you haven't watched this episode yet, I would highly recommend for you to go and watch it. But other than that, like the video if you liked the video, disliked if you disliked, I suppose. Comment down below all your thoughts, and if I missed anything, I suppose. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye for now.